Today, a major drug investigation leading law enforcement into one of the city's largest homeless encampments.
America, a months-long drug investigation in Tucson just led authorities straight into the heart of the city's largest homeless encampment, a place that they call 100 Acre Woods, where 60-plus people have been living in makeshift shelters. But here's what's really wild. This is the same area that's scheduled to be cleared next week to build a BMX park. Because what we're seeing in Tucson perfectly illustrates the connection between homelessness, drug trafficking, and failed policies that turn public spaces into crime havens instead of community assets.
Three men have been arrested for their alleged involvement in a major drug trafficking investigation. According to the police, the suspects were arrested yesterday at the 100 Acre Woods homeless encampment.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This story out of Tucson shows exactly what happens when the city allows homeless encampments to fester and boil. They become magnets for drug dealers and criminal activity that destroy entire neighborhoods and communities. Let's jump into this investigation and what it reveals about America's homeless crisis. This whole story starts with a months-long narcotics trafficking investigation that began outside the city of Tucson. Arizona Department of Public Safety, working with Tucson police, have been tracking drug dealers for months when their investigation led them straight to the 100 Acre Woods homeless encampment.
Well, a road on the south side is back open after roads were restricted while a search warrant was being served. Tucson police tell us they were assisting the Department of Public Safety, who was serving a search warrant in the area of Swan and Golf Links Road.
Think about this, you guys. A major drug trafficking investigation that started outside the city ended up at a homeless encampment. That is not a coincidence. That is the reality of what these encampments become when cities refuse to address them properly. Arizona DPS and Tucson police had to serve a search warrant right in the middle of this homeless encampment. When your drug investigation leads you to where homeless people are living, that tells you everything that you need to know about what these places really are. The investigation resulted in 3 arrests, and these weren't just small-time users. We're talking about major players in drug trafficking operations. Charles McDaniel, 67 years old, Timothy Welch, 55 years old, and Anthony Gross, 59 years old. These aren't young kids making bad decisions. These are grown men who've been in the drug game for decades. They set up shop right in the middle of the homeless encampment.
They say the three men each played a pivotal role in major drug sales in the region and possibly the potential sale of firearms.
So we're not just talking about drugs, we're talking about weapons trafficking happening right in the middle of where homeless people are living. This is exactly what I've been telling you guys about these homeless encampments. They become magnets for criminal activity, and that puts everybody at risk. The homeless people living there, the surrounding neighborhoods, and entire communities. Now let's talk about this place that they call 100 Acre Wood. It's Tucson's largest homeless encampment, located near Golf Links and Swan, where about 60-plus people have been living in makeshift shelters for years.
This is Chris Sanchez's front yard.
And things kind of just went sour for me a little bit, you know what I mean?
He's been living in the 100 Acre Wood for over a year, building this shelter complete with a living room, bedroom, and game room.
He's calling this place home. But here's the reality. His home just became a center of a major drug trafficking investigation. Patricia has been living there for 3 years. 3 years! And now she's facing the reality that this place is going to be shut down. But she won't accept housing because they won't let her in and keep her dog. So she'd rather stay homeless than follow basic housing rules.
It's hard, you know, no water, no food.
Patricia Contreras has lived in the 100 Acre Wood for 3 years. She had housing lined up, but now...
And now I have till tomorrow to find housing or to get rid of all my dogs. And I'm not going to get rid of the dogs. They knew I had the dogs, and now I'm probably going to be homeless again as of tomorrow.
It's a dilemma many will face next week as the city moves to start construction on a new bike park.
This, unfortunately, is the mentality that we're dealing with, you guys. People who have made these encampments part of their permanent lifestyle, refusing help because they don't want to follow basic rules, stay clean, and come to actual housing. Here's what city officials won't tell you. As we know, with most, if not all, homeless encampments, drugs and crime follows. It's not a coincidence that a major drug trafficking investigation led straight to this homeless encampment.
Just found out that they came in and arrested a bunch of people. You know, I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to better myself. I'm on a housing list. I'm trying to get housing. I'm trying to, you know, do what's right. And it seems like they're just picking on us, you know what I mean? Because we're homeless.
Listen to this guy. He says it seems that they're picking on us because we're homeless. No, brother, they're not picking on you because you're homeless. They're arresting drug dealers who set up shop in your encampment because that's what happens when the city allows these places to exist without proper oversight.
You know, I have a past. I don't, you know, I'm ashamed of my past, but I'm trying to better myself. Right?
He admits he has a past. He's trying to better himself, and that is great and dandy. But you cannot better yourself while you're living in a place that's become a hub for drug trafficking. That's the problem with these encampments. They become magnets for criminal activity and drugs that make it almost impossible for people who genuinely want to help you and get clean. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. The city has been planning to clear out this 100-acre wood to build a BMX park. Construction is supposed to start next week, right after the drug bust.
With the area known as the 100-acre wood scheduled to close next Wednesday for construction on a new BMX bike park.
Think about the timing here. A months-long drug investigation accumulates in arrests at this encampment just days before the city's supposed to clear it out for legitimate community use. That is not a coincidence. That is what happens when you finally decide to reclaim public spaces from criminal activity. The city says they need to test groundwater and make improvements to the existing BMX park. But let's be real. They're clearing out a drug-infested homeless encampment to build something that will actually benefit the community instead of harboring criminal activity. This story perfectly illustrates the choice cities face with homeless encampments. You can either allow them to fester and become magnets for drugs and criminal activity, or you can reclaim public spaces for legitimate public use. The city says they'd offer housing and services multiple times to these people, but haven't seen high numbers of people taking services being offered. That is the reality, my friends. Unfortunately, many of these folks don't want help. They want to live without rules or accountability. Meanwhile, the community suffers, neighborhoods become unsafe, public spaces become unstable, and criminal activity flourishes. The 100-acre woods bust proves that these encampments aren't just about homelessness. They're about creating lawlessness zones that attract the worst elements of society. America, the Tucson 100-acre woods situation shows us exactly what happens when cities allow homeless encampments to become permanent fixtures. They don't solve homelessness. They create crime havens and destroy communities. The fact a major drug trafficking investigation led straight to this encampment proves what we've been saying all along. These places have become magnets for this type of stuff. Converting this space into a BMX park is exactly what should happen. Instead of harboring drug dealers and criminals, this land will serve the entire community and give kids a safe space to ride bikes and be active. That's the choice that a lot of these cities face. Enable criminal activity through permanent encampments or reclaim the public spaces for community use. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.